All right. Looks like we are officially live. Got two, now three of you who joined us. If you could type your name in the chat box, that would be great. I'm going to guess Alex is one of those folks. Bear with me here. All right. All right, who we got joining today? All right. As we're getting y'all situated, I'm not sure if the chat is working. Should be. It looks like there are a couple of you on with us. So you could type your name in the chat box. That would be great. Just a couple of announcements to remind you to check our calendar on Zen Planner. Hey Alex, I see your little hand there. Your hand there. Thanks so much. Be sure to stay on top of the calendar. We did add a 6 a.m. class. These are all online classes. We are not doing any on-site coaching yet. Let's see, we got Jordan. What's up, Jordan? So check the calendar. We've got an added 6 a.m. class. Women's classes are live and running with Coach Chrissy and Laura, co-hosting or co-teaching that class. Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. We're here every afternoon, Monday through Thursday at 5. So check out the calendar. We are going live on YouTube on Mondays now, so that we can put these out on YouTube for folks who aren't on Facebook and just in general have some availability to some of our Essentials classes. We are about midway through our season for this season's programming in the Essentials class, but even if you don't have any experience, jump in. We'll keep you on we'll give you options for some more basic things to work on so that you can feel like you're getting something from this class. I do want to finally invite everyone who's joining or who watches this video within the next week or two to send me a 90-second or less clip of you hitting the heavy bag, shadow boxing. And if you send that to the email address ratcityboxing@gmail.com, I will watch your video and give you feedback. You're welcome to ask a question about the video you send me if you'd like feedback on your head movements, or you feel like you're having trouble with something that you'd like to improve, or if you just want to just get my general feedback on what I'm seeing to help you move the ball forward in your boxing practice. Go ahead and send that 90-second clip. No greater than 90 seconds. Anything greater than that won't get watched. So let 90 seconds or less, and I'll be happy to watch that and send you an email back giving you my feedback to help you improve your boxing. Again, that's ratcityboxing@gmail.com. RATCITY boxing@gmail. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to do a short little few minutes of calisthenics for a warm-up, and then we're going to get right into footwork. We will start with, pardon me, I'm using my phone as my timer. It's very helpful for you to have your own timer on hand, whether that's your phone or some other timer you have handy. And we're going to start with jumping jacks. Okay, starting with jumping jacks. You can go really wide and long with these if you like, or if you're like me, you're just kind of getting warmed up, you can do that. We do have some people in class who have trouble jumping. They just have some kind of injury or nagging pain or discomfort. And so for them, I just have them take a little side step and come back as they move their arms. Great, now we're gonna go high knees. Now you can run this out. Some people really go for it with really high knees here. I'm gonna march it out. I myself have a hip injury that I will be working on in a very focused manner in the next 3 months. Getting those knees up. Great, next we're going to move on to clapjacks. Those look like this. Now we're going this way instead of overhead. Open, close. Again, if you're a person who has trouble doing this because of joint issues, you can take a side step, just a little touch and go. I myself am usually slow to get going. Great, now we're going for butt kickers. We're just pulling that heel straight up to the butt. Now don't force this. Again, if you're one of those people who says, hey, when I bend my knee to a certain point, I have a lot of pain, don't bend it to there. But if you can, get a good little pull there. Some people like to run it. I recommend not putting your hand back here. I myself and some people I've worked with have jammed their fingers with the heel of their foot doing that. All right, now we're going to switch, and we're going to do squats. Just a little seat and up. Inhale on your way down. Exhale up. Great. Now let's go straight leg kicks. And here we're driving the supporting leg straight into the floor, keeping the kicking leg straight. Some people have really great flexibility or range, and they can really kick high. I can't, especially on my left side, so I'm not going to force it. Great. Maybe just a couple more here. Good. Maybe roll up that neck just a little bit. Great. So Alex and Jordan have checked in the comment box. If we've got anyone else on here who could type your name in the comment box so I know who's joining. And if you have questions during class, feel free to pop them right in there. Now I'm just, feel your body. I just want to get a little bit more movement up in here. Great. Now, as an extension here of our warm-up, we're just going to throw some punches. We're not looking for 100% power or speed. As a matter of fact, we're just going to get in our stance. The way we like to teach it here at the gym is we like to use a line. And I'm just going to scoot this a little lower so that you can actually get a peek at my feet. And so we like to use a line. The little seam in the mats here works great. I'm going to be boxing from my southpaw stance, and that just means for me I'm going to box as if I were a left-hander. I'm not, but that's what I've been working on lately, getting more comfortable there. And the Essentials class is an ideal place to start doing that. Okay, so I'm on my seam. Because I'm southpaw, this line indicates 12 o'clock. My toes are approximately at 11. And if you are an orthodox fighter, meaning a right-hander, you're going to set your feet to 1 o'clock. Full right in front of you on the line is 12, toes to 1. So I have a little seat here. My feet are a little greater than shoulder width apart. Now I'm just going to start throwing my jab, my straight punches. So my jab is my straight. For you, if you're an orthodox fighter, that would be your straight left hand. It's always the hand that's in front, the lead hand. And I'm just warming up my mechanics here, turning over the shoulder, working out some of the tension. Great, now we're going to throw across. And this is going to have us start working out what we like to call here a turn anchor shift. We're anchoring with one foot to really stabilize us as we send the force or the drive in our body into that leg. And the other one, the other foot, turns. We also feel the shift you get in your weight here. Now, this left shoulder, mine's tighter from an injury several months ago, but it'll get there if I'm just nice and easy as I warm it up. Good. Now I'm going to throw a hook, a 3, my lead hook. Trying to pull that shoulder up and just getting warmed up into my punches. I'm going to throw my rear hand now into that hook. That's going to be your right hook if you're orthodox. And that would be more here. Again, I'm not just warming up my arms, my upper body. I'm actually getting those feet to wake up and really stabilize me as my hips drive my punches. And then the follow through expresses through my upper body. My elbow comes up. I've got my shoulders as a nice little option for defense if punches are coming at me in the middle of this exchange. I can roll punches off as I create a space for me to punch in. Right down the middle here. Those hooks will come around. All right, now we're going to throw a, let's say, lead hook to the body. And that's going to be my right hand, but your left if you're right-handed. I like to throw it, and we teach it initially here as an upright hook. Got what I understand some people call it a hybrid. And I'm going to throw that rear. Again, looking for that anchor. I am turning. I'm anchoring. I'm shifting weight. Not forcing the shoulder. Just easing into my punches. Great. Let's just throw some uppers, and then we're going to get on to pivoting. I'm just throwing some short uppers here. Nice short. Sit, turn, and spring. My hips drive to turn the punch. As my leg gives me some upward action on that. Great. Now we're going to work on pivoting. Now, won't get into the whole spiel about how some people will refer to your foot turns as pivots. It's not wrong. But specifically for the sake of this class, and I'm going to demonstrate this from the orthodox stance, then I'm going to move into my southpaw stance to practice it for myself. And we're going to go, here's the line. I'm just giving you this side view. I'm on my 12 o'clock line. My toes are at 1 o'clock, roughly, approximately. Back heels up. Now, I'm going to shift my weight initially pretty dramatically. Boom, I'm going to turn my body. You don't need to necessarily take your body all the way there, but we want to work through these mechanics of turning the hip, shifting the weight, and then pivoting and turning back to here. So my weight shifts forward, and as I turn, I'm shifting my weight back. I'm just going to come right back into my guard. Into my stance, into my guard. Crack the doors, we say, pivot. How big do I pivot? Well, that just depends on where I want to place myself to then counter. You always want to be in a position to punch, and ideally I'm It's great to make you miss. That's great. If I've made you miss, that's great. That's a job well done. Ideally, I want to make you miss and also capitalize by scoring on you, by hitting you. Crack the door, pivot. Crack the door, pivot. Here I am back at this line here. I'm cracking the door. Now, I'm not cracking off this way. If I'm trying to maybe get away from you, I might come out here. I want more space. But instead, I'm cracking the door more like, let's say, I'm slipping the right hand and wanting to set up a hook to the body, or slipping the right hand and coming off to set something up at an angle right here. Okay? Keep working on that. I'm going to switch stances. I'm just checking my notes here. Okay. So we're going to throw a 1-2 pivot. So we're going to go 1. Now I'm cracking the door on the 1. I'm already setting up that step. Boom, boom, turning into my 2 and pivoting here. 1, 2. You can do that on the 2. You can throw the 1, open it on the 2, and pivot there. I play with both. Knowing where you're going from there may be what informs your decision to step on the 1 or the 2. Comfort level, making sure you're balanced. And then, very important, where you are in the ring. Which way do I want to go based off of our positioning in the ring? Just for mechanics' sake, boom, boom, pivot. Great, a little bit of that practice. We're going to get some more. Now we're going to step the other direction. We're actually going to step to the right. I think sometimes people call this a pivot. I tell the students here to step, so that they aren't confused about what I'm asking them to do when they're sparring. So we're going to step to the right. Now, I'm not stepping laterally to the right. For example, if I were cutting off the ring, I'd utilize more of this lateral stepping. Instead, I'm almost walking forward. My chest, my toes are pointing to 1 o'clock. I'm just taking a little slip step here. So let's assume my opponent's on the same line as me. Now I'm going to throw a 1, 2. When I follow through on that 2, my back foot slides with me. So we can do this together a bit. And we're going to go, I'm in my stance, and I'm in my orthodox stance. Here I am. 1. Notice my positioning. I've shifted my weight back. Okay, it's in my back foot, and I've stepped forward. And as I turn, that back foot follows. So I'm back to the spacing in my stance. Step, turn. I'm shooting that jab down the middle of their guard. Presumably, if they're throwing the jab, I can be real sneaky with that. Slip it off, turn, and set up my right hand. So let's go in a circle and do that a few times. Step, turn. You can also throw an uppercut from here, depending on the distance that you step to, or you choose to set up. Great, try that a few more times. All right, let's go ahead and move on now. We're going to work some of that footwork, practice it on the heavy bag. If you don't have a heavy bag, no problem. Go ahead and, I've been telling y'all to use your boxing gloves if you want to add a little weight to your shadow boxing. or some light hand weights. If you're like beginner, don't worry about using any weights for your punching. Just let your hands go. Let's work on establishing strong balance, real strong balance. I'm getting my timer going here. Strong balance. Try to throw straight punches down the line and come back to your guard, right? Balance, coordination, straight punches, hands up. All right, first round. We're going to work on setting up the cross and pivoting off that. So jab, 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 cross, pivot. And from there, if you want to throw 2-3 punches after that, throw another cross or fire a couple shots to the body and play around from there, do that. Find your flow with that. But let's try to start with the triple jab cross. I'm going to set my timer. And we'll work on this together. Again, bear in mind, especially if you're newer, so that you don't get too confused, that I am boxing in my southpaw stance. I think that should give you a pretty good gauge there. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Okay, hope you all enjoyed playing around, just moving and seeing where that jab, measuring with your jab, seeing where that can put you to set up the cross. We're not just jabbing to jab because coach told me so. We're jabbing to set some things up. I can establish, change up a rhythm, can put it in your eyes and blind you, pop you when you think you're formulating a plan, catch you thinking, and set up some power punches, set up some combinations. So now we're going to start stepping to the right. So we're going to go 1, 2, step right, 2, 3. After you do that a few times, maybe you want to throw 1, 2, you feel your balance there, you want to try an upper or play around with firing other shots. This would be for more advanced folks. Maybe you want to go to the body and then come up with an upper and just play with some of the other combinations that we have been practicing in our other classes. Go at it, have at it. But try to, at the core, come back to that 1, 2, step to the right, 2, 3. Make sure that your footing is solid enough for you to throw that 2, 3. And 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, step right, 2, 3. Come back to your feet. Your feet should be able to stabilize you as you sit in and drive the punches at the hips. All right. So we're going to move into a little bit of slipping. Quick note for you, and I'll give y'all. We want your feet to really, again, stabilize you. So you aren't having these wobbly legs. Your feet are just kind of flat. They need to be active on the ground. Your hips that way your hips are sitting on top of a solid enough foundation that you can really drive into them and deliver your punches efficiently, effectively, make them nice and crisp and sharp and strong. So the next one, we're going to move in onto slipping. You don't need to move around a lot with this. This is for today. Keep your feet right here. And we're going to start slipping, so I want you to, instead of being out here, boxing from here with that long lead hand, we're going to pull this in now. Elbows get pulled in, and we're going to slip, 3, 2, slip, 2, 3. Super new, don't worry about the hooks. Just throw a 1, 2. Today we're gonna always slip to the same side as our last punch. The 2 is my right hand in this case for an orthodox boxer. So I'm gonna slip to my right, come back with a 1, 2, 2, 1, pardon me, a 2, 1, a right, left, and then slip to my left and come back up. Okay, for just keeping it simple there. The rest of you are gonna be throwing a slip. You're gonna go slip 2, 3, slip 3, 2. Check your feet, start again. Try to be nice and solid on those feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. We want to take the head off this 12 o'clock line, whatever stance you're in. Don't throw here, get a tiny little slip. It should be small, but not so small you're getting hit. You got to evade the punch. While you're evading the punch, you're loading. You're loading this hip, setting this anchor leg. You got weight there so you can come back up. You're prepping the next punch. So punch when you're coming out of the slip, not after. So it'll be, for example, 2, 3, I slip, come back with my punch right away. I don't go 2, 3, slip, come back up, and then try to throw my hook. Punch, you're already set up for it. Let the hands go. All right, time. Okay, so there's a lot of really structured instruction around what to do to work your pivots, your steps, and to start getting your head slipping offline. We will be working on that in the coming weeks, so I don't want you to get so stuck on every last detail of mechanics that it's freezing you from being able to play around with how you're shifting your weight and moving. Again, your feet have to stabilize you. Hips are gonna turn you, and then the shoulders are gonna really follow through as you deliver the punches. Now, real quick about the slipping, but really just boxing in general. You are always gonna have some form of weight shifting in your punching. And you always, as I said earlier, want to be in a position to punch. Okay, so if you get caught flat on your feet, and I mean just feet aren't active, they aren't really active on the floor for you to make a split-second decision to be able to punch or move is when you're going to get caught off guard. So we want to be very active there. I'm always here to there, here to there. Even when it looks really subtle, you're going to see that constant motion. Let's go one short round. We're just going to throw whatever we want on the bag. Just let it fly. Practice what you want. Have some fun. And move and box on the bag. Just a couple minutes, and then we'll move on to some defense. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. Make sure that you're landing properly in your fist. Feel where those knuckles are landing. Make a tight fist and clench your jaw when you punch. Time. All right, grab a quick drink of water if you need it. And then we're going to get right into a little defense review. I'm going to do a little review on parrying the jab, because you can't be too good at that. The more comfortable you can be, the better. Just really build confidence in your ability to parry punches. Now, to be clear, you can parry with either hand. For the sake of this conversation, we're going to be talking about parrying with your inside hand, your cross hand, or your right hand if you're an orthodox boxer, your left hand if you are a southpaw. Now, go ahead and get in your stance. I want to show you, we don't want to make a fist to parry punches. I know some people say parry. I say parry. You don't want to make a fist. We actually want to open that hand, and I'm not talking, sometimes I see people do this with their fingers, and they kind of catch up high on the fingers. Don't do that. You don't want to do that. If I throw a stiff enough jab, it's just going to push your hand back. I'm going to feel that when I throw my jab. I'm going to feel that you have a weak parry. I'm going to start just blasting past it because you aren't effectively deflecting or redirecting my punches. So when I open that hand, I want to use the strong part of my hand, that little heel, this meaty little portion. I can use this to catch punches, which is just to kind of stop them in their tracks. Boom. More often, I like to get more of a deflection because I'm looking to set up punches. We want to look to set up punches. Again, like I said earlier, we don't just want to make our opponent miss. That's great. As you're setting things up, you're learning your opponent's timing, you're getting your footing, you're making little micro corrections of distance between you and that person as you step at an angle, etc. You may not have, your timing may not quite be there to get the punch off, but that's ultimately what we're trying to do. So the deflection is key for that. We need a solid deflection. So when you straighten your hand, you don't actually go into, you're not looking to do this. Let me see, there we go. We're not looking to do that. We just want to actually push the heel of the hand out, or sometimes if I want to deflect your punch over my shoulder, then I can get a quick little boom that way with the strong part of my hand down here, not with my fingertips. So I'm gonna throw a jab at the camera, and all I want you to do is practice opening that hand and come out. I'm gonna throw about 5 of them. Now, I'm going to throw about 5 more. This time, pay attention. Are you pulling your hand way out to meet me? You don't want to do that either. You want to, as much as possible, stay at your guard, so when that jab comes, you don't fall for a feint. So I may see that you're pawing out, feint, and come around with a hook, set something else up. So just stay here. And matter of fact, I prefer, for the sake of your learning now, at this point, to stay here, parry here. Try not to turn square. Yes, you can set some punches up with that down the line. If you are a much more advanced boxer, you're already comfortable with this, then sure, play around with stuff. Be aware of what you're doing. So I'm gonna throw a jab. You're just going to deflect it. Give me a little deflection, like you want to send that punch over your left shoulder. Great. Now, I'm a short guy. Most of you are probably taller than me. If I were throwing a jab at you, you could try to set up that deflection over the top so that you catch. You aren't going to throw the cross right now, but we're just going to practice getting a little deflection downward. You're still going to turn that hand open. Make sure you have a strong heel of the hand and just get a downward motion. Boom. This would ultimately end up looking something like boom, boom. I'd come right over the top. So here's the jab. If I'm lazy coming back with my jab, you can really make me regret it. If I'm one of those people that comes back to here, or if I throw my jab where I turn my chin's exposed big time. Let's go 3 of those. Great. I'm gonna get just a few more. Stay in your stance, stay calm, try not to blink when you see the punch coming at you. Great. All right, we're going to parry with the other hand, or sometimes we say block, but you can parry with your lead hand. This is your jab hand. Is going to parry my cross. I'm going to throw my cross, boom. You're going to take that lead hand with the same action, the same strong part you used on your other hand, and you're going to get a little deflection of that cross. It can be really useful when I throw that right hand straight down the middle, boom. You can deflect my punch this way, causing me to be a little off balance and not have that hand immediately available to me at the end of that punch. You can also set some punches up over it. But for the sake of keeping it basic, all you're going to do is take that lead hand, open it up, get a little short turn like so. Boom. We are not doing this. We're not popping it down. Again, beginner, basic, fundamental. Just try it as much as possible. Stay in your guard for this today. You can down the line. I'm going to throw a cross. I want you to block. Just that little deflection. Make sure you keep your sights on me. Don't turn so much you don't see me. Boom. If you see me here, I can still see you once I've deflected that, and then I can set up some punches. Quick note. You can use your forearms. We're not using our forearms today. We're just setting up that awareness in the hands to block from our guard here. All right, throwing that cross. Boom, block. Keep that chin down, drive the hips, come right back. Great. Now we're going to take those same punches and we're going to practice slipping a little bit. Then we're just going to move. We're going to wrap up our class, and you can decide to join for the exercises or not. So we're going to go. I'm going to throw a jab, and you're going to slip to the outside of my jab, meaning not toward the center of my body, but to the outside of my body. So you're going to slip to this side of my jab. That will be, if you're an orthodox fighter, that is going to end up being the right side of your body. Slip to your right. Then you'll come back up. I'll give you a short moment to come back to your stance with your hands up in. I'm going to throw across, and you're going to slip to the outside, which is going to be your left if you're orthodox. All right. So here's my jab. Don't worry about punching. If you're really advanced and you just want to get the work into practice, you can come back with a straight or an upper or a hook. But more than anything, really feel how you're setting up that punch so it's crisp for a quick return. Good, now if you like, I'm going to throw just a few more. You can start coming up with punches. Time. All right, I feel like you can refer to that later, or you can rewind it and work on that some more. We're going to move on. If you're going to do some more boxing training, feel free to put in a few more rounds on the bag, or maybe you want to skip rope for a few rounds. Do some shadow boxing. If you have room wherever you are to get on your bicycle and just move around, do a little bit of more footwork, then go ahead and do that. Otherwise, I'm going to take us over to the board so that I can go over the work you can use just to wrap up your workout here. Here we go. Now, for a quick reminder, I know some of you went to the salsa class we had on Zoom on Saturday. There's 3 more classes. You have if you didn't make it, that's okay. You can still drop into the next class this Saturday, May 16th at noon. You can register through our website at theboxinggymws.com, or you can send us an email as well. We can help you out with that. But after that, you won't be able to do you won't be able to drop into the class because it is a progressive series. All right, that said, here's what we're doing. We got 10 minutes on the board. You're going to have to cue your timer, a phone or wherever else, or I don't know, if you have an hourglass that is 10 minutes long, you can use that instead. And the rep scheme is going to be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, plus 2. What this means is you don't stop when you get to 12. It means that when you get to 12, the next round you'll add another 2 for 14, and the following round you'll add another 2 for 16, and you'll add another 2 for 18, and you'll do that until your 10 minutes is up. So when that last little grain of sand falls through the hourglass mark and the end of your 10 minutes, you're done. I like to challenge people to try to get up to at least 20. So let's see how you can do. So the way this works is you're going to do 2 jumping lunges, 2 archer row to push up, and 2 sit-ups with hooks on the top to start. Then your second round, and I'll demonstrate this in a moment, your second round will be 4 jumping lunges, 4 archer row to push up, 4 sit-ups with hooks. And then it'll be 6 of each, 8 of each, 10 of each, 12 of each, etc., adding 14, 16, 18, until your 10 minutes is up. And so here, I will turn this, and I'm going to demonstrate what this will look like. So jumping lunges. Now, if you can't do the jumping, that's fine. You can do regular lunges. Or you can do squats instead if that's something that works better for you. But here's how these look. You're gonna go 1 on each side. 1, 2. Then that's 2, that was 1 on each side. Now we're gonna go archer row to push-up. We'll go into a plank position. You'll turn to one side, come back, do a push-up, that's 1. Turn to the other side, come down, do a push-up, that's 2. Okay, that was my 2. If you have to do the push-up on the knees, that's fine. Okay. If even doing the archer row, and the push-ups are just, you can't quite do push-ups, that's okay too. You can just do the archer rows if that's really challenging for you. And then finally, sit up with hooks. Go back. You can swing your arms, that's fine. Sit up, come back. That's 2 sit-ups. Next round, you'll go for 4, etc. All right, please, if you enjoyed class, be sure to like this video. That would be greatly appreciated. If I'm reminding y'all that if you would like my personal feedback on what you're doing, since I don't get to see everyone with this whole quarantine, send me a 90-second clip, no greater, 90 seconds or less, let's say, clip of you shadow boxing or hitting the bag, and or even working head movement, whatever it is, 90 seconds or less, to ratcityboxing@gmail.com, and I will give you my personal feedback on what I feel may be most helpful for you to improve your boxing practice. That is it. I'm going to sign off. If you have questions, feel free to contact me. Otherwise, 10 minutes, go ahead and get it in. Thanks for joining today.